Well, hello. Welcome. I'm Maureen Pisani with ProThrive Science-Based Hypnotherapy. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing your connection with me, with others, and you are helping me achieve my life mission. Some topics are very easy to talk about. Today we're going to talk about something that is very sensitive, yet affects us all. Very hard to talk about for some, and that is death. Death and dying, death and grieving, death knowing that it is truly a shame, that we can't talk about it openly because it affects us all, and we all have wounds that we keep deep down inside, and it doesn't work. Keeping it all inside doesn't work. Creates a lot of health issues, creates a lot of internal pain when it's something that is very natural. So here's how I see death. And yes, I appreciate that it might not be your opinion. And yes, I appreciate that it might be a completely different perspective than you ever thought possible. But this is how I see it. We're each on a journey, right? We talk about life being a journey. So imagine you're on a train. And you're on this train. People come up, and some people are in your carriage. Some people are in different carriages. Some people from a different carriage come into yours and spend time with you. And sometimes at particular stations, some people leave your carriage and step off the train. And sometimes you wait for them to come back and they don't. Sometimes people who you thought were for the long haul with you get off at a different station than you expected. But you're still on the train. So technically life goes on. But how are you supposed to live when one of the people you love the most on the planet died? How are you supposed to live when you knew life with your parents and now one of them's gone? You have no idea how to live life without one of your parents because you never experienced it. And now it's definite. But life and death, to me, are a topic worth delving into, because death is not the end. We think of death as the opposite of life. But here, I want you to take a moment and just work this through with me. We know that in the moment of conception, the soul is introduced into the zygote. And in that moment that the soul is introduced, the date of birth is set, the date of death is set, and all the experiences in between are set. We have life in utero for 9 months. And then there's a transition. External situations happen that cause us to go from this life that we know for 9 months, and we are pushed into this new experience where we don't know, right? It's brand new. We have no idea. Because it's usually longer than 9 months, we tend to release all that and live in this one. But then again, external situations happen and we're pushed into this other thing, this other experience. So for me, life is in utero, here and after. And the actual, to me, and again, I'm saying it is just mine, but the opposite of death is not life, is birth. It's transitions. Life was in utero, life is now as we know it, and life will continue. Yes, it will continue. So when it comes to how we do this, when people go home, that's what I say, because the transition is to go home. When people go home, they're a different plane. Their soul, which is the essence of that human that we loved when they were on the physical plane with us, their soul is still vibrantly alive, is just in a different plane where our human eyes can't see them and our human ears can't hear them. Now, in science, you and I both know that there's infrared and ultraviolet. Our human eyes can't see them, but scientifically we know they exist. So what if this loved one that your heart is broken over is standing right next to you, sending you as much love as they possibly can, but you just, because you're human, weren't aware of it? What if you had to take the thought that my journey on this train at some point it'll be my turn to get off on a different station, and then I'll be in the same level, the same plane with them. What if you think about it with, or if they're around me all the time, then I really can receive their love. Now, when you hear me talk, I talk about my dad all the time. My dad has been home for 17 years, almost 18 now. There are times it feels like yesterday. There are times I miss him with every cell in my being. But most of the time, I know he's around me. I know there are moments where I'll be eating something which I know is his favorite, and I go, "Here, Dad, there's a bite for you here." Or I'm watching a movie and a scene happens and I go, my dad would have loved that one. Or I'm actually, even if I'm driving and I come upon freeways, my dad was a freeway fanatic. He loved the architectural strategy of them. And I always say, even when I'm with people, I go, my dad would have loved to see all this. And I keep him alive in my heart because I know he's alive. I know he's a breath away. So I want you to come from the space where death isn't end of chapter, close the book. It's they've just upgraded to a different plane, where their love, the love he and I shared, the love you and your loved one shared, is eternal. Think about it, even if it's one of the worst wounds possible, if a child of yours died, how much better would your heart feel if you knew he or she is still around you? He or she still loves you. He or she will continue loving you, sending you blessings. Because now, from the other side, they have no weaknesses. We humans here, feet touching the ground humans, we have strengths and weaknesses. Over there, they have no weaknesses. They only have strengths. So when it comes to how you start thinking of them happy, think of them laughing, think of them doing a prank, a joke, sharing a joke. I talk about my dad in the present tense, and here's a secret. Most people that I talk to about my dad in the present tense, and I'm not kidding with this, they think my English isn't good. They have no idea that I know he's vibrantly alive. He's vibrantly here, loving, sending me blessings, sharing my experiences. Yes. How would that ease your heart if you had to think of death that way? Now, do I miss him? Yes, of course. But now I know. I know that he's with me. I know that we have this connection. I know that time is a human concept. So technically, a moment on the other side is 1,000,000 years here, or 1,000,000 years there's a moment here. So when it comes to how we look at this, start looking at the after. Start looking at expanding your appreciation of receiving. And then it'll make a difference, right? So come from a space, infrared and ultraviolet. Your human capacity, as magnificent as it is, can only go so far. So start receiving with your heart. Start receiving that love is eternal. Love never ends. And not only do you receive it, you share it back. So if you have questions about this topic, reach out to me, email me, contact me. I'm everywhere. I want you to have the awareness that, yes, you are connected. Yes, they still love you. Yes, they will always be with you. So here I am, Maureen Pisani with ProThrive Science-Based Hypnotherapy. Remember, helping you to always succeed. See you later. Bye-bye.